सो दिस इज ए बेसिक थिंग. सो वाई टू स्टार्ट विथ बेसिक. आपको तो पता है मैं हमेशा चिढ़ता हूं कि हिस्ट्री ऑफ बैंकिंग ये सब आजकल क्वेश्चन नहीं आता है. बट few things, very few, very minimal point on related to history of banking, but maximum about the Indian banking structure. There are few minute points you often miss. So for you, I'm going to revise it in a quick session so that you can cover it. Okay. एटीएम में ऑन ऑफ क्या होता है, बहुत कुछ चीजें हैं जो आप नहीं जानते. इफ यू आर समवन हु इज लुकिंग डेस्परेटली टू जॉइन बैंक्स लाइक स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, then there is an opportunity for 2 years of experience candidates like in SBI CBO. So if you missed it by some margin or you are preparing for the upcoming batch, the time has come to start the preparation right away. नॉलेजिस्ट पर बैच लॉन्च हो चुका है और सक्सेस स्टोरीज के भरमार हम आप लोगों के लिए लेकर आ रहे हैं. डोंट जस्ट ओनली वॉच दिस वीडियोस, बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस स्टोरी, be part of India's largest public sector banks by enrolling with a dedicated Knowledgist SBI CBO batch. Introduction. Banks bridge the gap between investors and borrowers by ensuring funds are used correctly. Theory बहुत कुछ है, ठीक है. मैं चाहता हूं कि आप पहले चीजों को समझ लीजिए. आसान शब्दों में बात करेंगे. किसी के पास ज्यादा पैसा है, somebody is having more money, he is a affluent person, having from well-to-do family, has a lot to save, and few people have to borrow money because they don't have liquid cash with them immediately for consumption. So banks work as a mediator to fill the gap, right? They help manage the distribute risk over time. Banks offer safety net for depositors. Due to their structures, banks are at risk of sudden withdrawals and broader financial crisis. Banks are prone to that, for which we have stress tests conducted by Reserve Bank of India time to time. बीच बीच में Reserve Bank of India क्या करता है, stress test करता है. Banks are prone to the crisis, right? Last year the Silver Valley Bank etc. failed in USA. The Credit Suisse, these are failed. No matter how big they are, but they are very prone to risk. They are prone to diseases like human being. जैसे चिकन में बर्ड फ्लू बहुत एक आसान का चीज है, उसी तरह से फिनेंशियल क्राइसिस बैंकों में आना बहुत कॉमन है. व्हाट इज द मेजर फॉर दैट? व्हाट बैंक्स आर डूइंग, व्हाट रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया इज डूइंग नॉट टू अलाउ बैंक्स टू फेल. व्हाट रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया डूइंग, बैंक कर क्या रहा है, रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया कर क्या रहा है, दुनिया भर के सेंट्रल बैंक्स क्या कर रहे हैं, what the central banks are doing. Because when we know in this line that banks are prone to failure due to their complex structure, banks are they are not that adverse to risk. They may fail anytime because of sudden withdrawals, right? They are prone to risk. What they are doing, they are implementing Basel 3. Very good, very good. Yes, I am starting from zero. जेआईबी में भी आता है, बिल्कुल जेआईबी का भी ये स्ट्रक्चर है, ठीक है, राइट. यस देयर, यस रिजर्व रेशियो इज समथिंग फॉर लिक्विडिटी. रिजर्व रेशियो इज फॉर लिक्विडिटी मैनेजमेंट. फॉर लिक्विडिटी यू हैव द रिजर्व रेशियोज. फॉर लिक्विडिटी यू हैव द लिक्विडिटी कवरेज रेशियो, एलसीआर. बिकॉज माय बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन क्लास इज नॉट ऑलवेज दैट बेसिक. जब मैं स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ बैंकिंग, हिस्ट्री ऑफ बैंकिंग पढ़ाऊंगा, इतना भी बेसिक से नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा. कुछ तो कॉम्प्लेक्स रहेगा, कुछ तो आपको नया सीखने के लिए मिलेगा. नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड सर, कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट? सी what happens, what banks do normally, they gather deposit from the public and lend it to the borrowers to earn interest and to pay back. बैंक का काम क्या है, कौन से सेक्शन में बैंक का काम लिखा हुआ है, इन व्हिच सेक्शन इट इज देयर? दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव गिवन यू होमवर्क. इन बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट सेक्शन 5 इट इज सेड व्हाट इज ए बैंक. बैंक्स आर देयर टू एक्सेप्ट डिपॉजिट्स फ्रॉम पब्लिक एंड लेंड इट टू सेक्शन 5B. तो बैंक का यही काम है. बट दे आर लेंडिंग मनी. व्हेन दे आर लेंडिंग मनी, देयर इज ऑलवेज ए एनपीए रिस्क और नॉट. वहां पे एनपीए होगा कि नहीं होगा, या फिर सारे लोग पैसा रिटर्न कर देंगे, कोई देश में विजय माल्या नहीं बनेगा? कैन यू गारंटी देयर विल बी नो फर्दर विजय माल्या, देयर विल बी नो मेहुल चोकसी? एनपीए होगा. सो हाउ देन दे विल रिटर्न द मनी. जो लोन बैंक ने दिया है, क्या उनके बाप का पैसा था? इज इट देयर फादर्स मनी? इज इट देयर एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी? इट इज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द डिपोजिटर्स. इट इज माई मनी. I allowed State Bank of India or to PNB to give it to Nirav Modi. So it is my money. PNB has to return me my deposit amount. So in such cases there is a risk, there is always a risk that bank will fail, क्योंकि लोन एनपीए हो जाएगा तो डिपोजिटर को लाके पैसा कहां से देगा? होता है कि नहीं होता है? रॉन ऑन बैंक होता है। लास्ट एसबीआई सीबीओ 2 साल पहले एक क्वेश्चन आया था रॉन ऑन बैंक, वो मजाक मजाक में रॉन ऑन बैंक हम बात करते थे। इन 2008 देयर वाज अ रॉन ऑन बैंक इन आईसीआईसीआई, मेनी पीपल कम ऑन लाइन came in line to withdraw money, and all of a sudden there was a rumor that ICICI Bank don't have enough money. That concept is called run on money. Yes, also with Yes Bank a few days back. That's why they asked a question related to run on bank. Run on bank means sudden withdrawal of money. Banks have provisions, banks have lent this money of depositors, so how they will honor the depositors commitment? इसी के लिए बैंक के रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया क्या करता है? व्हाट रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया डज? दे डू स्ट्रेस टेस्ट इन बैंक टू फाइंड आउट वेदर बैंक्स कैन सर्वाइव एनी शॉक कंडीशन और नॉट। ठीक है, ये बेसल 3 के तहत आता है। सो बेसल इंप्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ बेसल 3 अश्योर्स अस, जो बेसल 3 का नॉर्म है वो हमें अश्योर करता है कि हमारे बैंक्स फेल नहीं होंगे इतना इजीली, राइट? There are domestic systemically important banks, 3 banks in radar, 3 banks in line. So these banks are too big to fail. उनको too big to fail का टैग दिया गया है। Who are these 3 banks who are too big to fail in India? Yes, SBI, ICICI, HDFC. तो उनको क्या मेंटेन करना होता है too big to fail? Can you tell what is the criteria? उनका जो है, उनको अगर बहुत बड़े बैंक है तो उनके कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी भी बड़ा होना चाहिए देन अदर बैंक्स। कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी मींस दे हैव एनफ कैपिटल टू गो बैंकरप्ट, राइट? ओके, चलिए ये तो हो गया। द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस रोल्स कैन चेंज बेस्ड ऑन लोकेशन एंड हिस्टोरिकल प्रोविजंस। वेरी गुड। व्हाट इज बैंकिंग? डेफिनेशन इन बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट, BR एक्ट, सेक्शन 5B. Right? Banking involves accepting public deposit either to lend or invest. Banking can be done through checks, drafts or other means. A banking company is any firm conducting banking business in India. So types of banking activities एक banker करके आ सकता है। अगर there are many profitable business, so can as a banker you do that? Property business attracts a lot of profitability, so can a bank buy or sell properties? No. As per section 6 of Banking Regulation Act, there is a list of activities that a bank is authorized to do. So for that I have given you homework to cover BR Act, RBI Act and banker customer relationship by tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, you can clear all these 3 classes. So traditional banking operations, accepting deposit and lending it to others to earn interest, that was traditional. But later third party activities, third party products, fee based income, merchant services, okay, treasury activities has grown over the time to boost banks profitability. So now banks don't rely only on lending to earn profit. पहले बैंक सिर्फ लेंडिंग करके ही पैसा कमाते थे, आजकल उनके पास दूसरे बहुत सारे एवेन्यूज हैं। गॉट माय पॉइंट और नॉट? So deposits, there are demand deposits and term deposits. Term deposits is called time deposit. It can be broken during a specific time, maturity के ऊपर ही उसको withdrawal किया जाता है। However, nowadays you can withdraw your fixed deposit or term deposit at any point of time. Maybe there is a partial withdrawal charges will be applicable. Demand deposit means no guarantee that you will keep this much of amount for a certain period of time. As per your whim, as per your wish, as per your requirements, you will be withdrawing money from your bank accounts. For that you have saving account and current account, CASA. Got my point? Okay. So types of advances, fund based and non-fund based. Loans are categorized into 2. You know, fund based means when you give a loan, and there is monetary benefit involved, monetary disbursement is directly involved. लोन देते ही जब हम कैश का डिसबर्समेंट करते हैं उसको फंड बेस्ड क्रेडिट कहते हैं। क्या कहते हैं? फंड बेस्ड क्रेडिट। इन लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट, बैंक गारंटी, वी ओनली गिव गारंटी अनलेस एंड until the borrower doesn't fail his commitment, we don't pay anything, a single rupee in a non-fund based credit, which is called documentary credit, which is called contingent liability. Advance means loan. Okay, got my point? So banks nowadays are actively engaged in fund transfers, bill collections, foreign exchange, safe deposit lockers, custody of documents, trustee services, gift checks, merchant banking, and so on. Okay. Now, so only banking companies can use the word bank, banker, banking in their name. Non-banking entities cannot use these words with their business. तो ये बेसिक चीजें हैं जो आपको याद रखना होगा. तो इंडिया में बैंकिंग का हिस्ट्री कहां से है, बहुत कम समय में इसको मैं कवर करूंगा. तो इंडिया में बैंकिंग बहुत दिनों से है. 2000 बीसी मतलब बिफोर क्राइस्ट, 4024 years back, right? Around 4000 years back in Vedic times, the Kautilya Arthashastra, Vedic times, there were banking services in India. There is thorough mention of banking services in Kautilya's Arthashastra, means the Chanakya's Arthashastra. European influence and modern onset. European agency houses introduced banks in 18th and 19th centuries. Bank of Hindustan is the first bank of India, established in 1770, is recognized as the beginning of formal banking services, and it seized in 1832. ये बैंक 1832 को डूब गया. Services like General Bank of India and Oud Commercial Bank emerged, but they were also short-lived. Then Bank of Calcutta, renamed as Bank of Bengal, followed by Bank of Madras and Bank of Bombay. All these three eventually merged with Imperial Bank of India in 1921, which later became State Bank of India through State Bank of India Act in 1955. ये था एक छोटा सा हिस्ट्री जिसको आपको बहुत ज्यादा याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. 10 साल पहले क्वेश्चन यहीं से आते थे. समय बीत चुका है, टाइम हैज पास्ड. 10 years back, questions were formed from history of banking. Now it is a very common thing, each one of us knows. So you are being recruited to be a perfect banker, not a historian. So they don't ask a lot of history questions. So Swadeshi movement, there was an impact of Swadeshi movement in India. Some indigenous bank like Punjab National Bank, Bank of India, Canara Bank, Indian Bank, Bank of Baroda, and Central Bank emerged between 1874 to 1911. Okay. Cooperative movement as started by or initiated by Vittal L. Kavetkar in 1889, जिनसे कोऑपरेटिव बैंक की शुरुआत हुआ. Rural cooperative movement aimed to address village credit issues. The Cooperative Societies Act formed in 1904 to facilitate cooperative credit societies. Several banks shut down in 1920s and 1930s due to poor management. Later, RBI got established in 1935 following the Hilton-Young Commission. ठीक है, उसको रॉयल कमीशन ऑफ बैंकिंग भी कहा जाता है. So nationalization, RBI got nationalized in 1949, SBI in 1955, 14 major private banks got nationalized in 1969, another 6 got nationalized in 1980. Okay, so banking network gradually started booming in India. Banking liberalization post the Narasimham Committee recommendation in 1991. ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank were set up in mid-90s. Then in 2004, Kotak, Yes, IDFC, Kotak, Yes Bank came, including this banks called कौन से बैंक है आपके, इंडसइंड बैंक वगैरह, और IDFC बंधन बैंक. ये 2011-12 के आसपास ये बैंक्स आए थे. ठीक है. एंड देन पेमेंट बैंक एंड स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक 2015 तक आ चुके थे. Knowledgist offers various courses in banking lateral entry, banking specialist officer, and banking journalist officer exam, like SBI CBO, all bank scale 2, scale 3, RRB scale 2, scale 3 exam, etc. Apart from that, we offer promotional courses for all public sector banks and certification exams like GIB, CIB offered by IIBF. So stay tuned, stay enrolled.